This year, probably more than any year since about 2000, we have a lot of people who are probably planning to can and freeze more food, trying to be more self-reliant, more home-reliant in case of a national emergency. This is also beneficial if there's a winter storm or a summer storm, to be able to have things on hand that you can use that you've grown yourself. But in the process of getting ready to do that, there's several things you need to consider. First of all, what does your family like to eat? That's one of the primary things that you're going to want to grow if you're going to become self-reliant. So look at those types of vegetables and fruits that you can start now. You may not get apples this year from trees that you plant, but you can kind of look long-term down the line. Once you've determined that, you're also going to want to figure out which ones of those things that they like to eat really can be preserved. Lettuces, radishes, you really are going to have to eat those pretty much and move on. But things like asparagus, beans, tomatoes, peppers, these you can put away for long-term storage. Now, you also need to think about how much do we need, and to do that you need to look at your family life and your family patterns. It's been a long time since most families have tried to put away and store away enough food to last them through the winter until the next growing season. So most of us don't have a good idea of how many cans of tomatoes we use, how many cans of peaches, how many cans of or bottles of ketchup we use during the year, or jars of jelly. So you need to try and think back and make up a chart. And there's an example on the website that you can get to either through the Oklahoma Gardening website or through fcs.okstate.edu that will help you figure out how much to can and freeze. You look at how many people are in your family, what a suggested serving size is, how much, and it will work you through the process of how many quarts of each of these things, or how many pints do I need to can in order to be self-sufficient for the next year, or at least to be self-sufficient for a period of time. For a lot of us, we just don't have enough garden space to do everything that we'd like. We may not have enough skill, and we may not be able to plant and grow everything that we need. But we can make a start, and we can work our way towards self-sufficiency. You may also want to think about canning versus freezing as you work that way, particularly if you're concerned about power outages via storms and that kind of thing. A freezer may not be the best choice. So you may want to do half and half canning, half freezing, depending on what your family likes. Also, as you're looking at planting in the garden, think about what you're going to do with the food. If you want to make pickles, for instance, then the variety of cucumber that you choose needs to be one that's bred to be pickled, because any cucumber will pickle, but only those that are bred for pickling will give you a good product. The same with tomatoes. Those types of tomatoes that are bred to be canned are going to give you a lot happier product at the end, and you're going to be much more pleased with the product than if you get one that's bred primarily to be sliced. So those are the things you need to look at. The amount of garden space you have, of course, but what your family likes, how much you're going to need, and then make sure that you plant those varieties that are going to be suitable for the purpose that you have in mind. For Oklahoma Gardening, this is Barbara Brown.